sustainability demands, strategic alliances. That is fine. Those are some of the key drivers to change that I was expecting you to at least explain. Okay. All right. And thought about layers in the business environment, micro layer, or those layers. I think they are there. So I don't know what was the question. What was the question? The question is discuss three major layers of business environment that surround the organization. I've said something about the macro environment. You can talk about something to do with the industries, the markets, competitors. Those ones, I think, all the layers you could have explained. Question number 2, it was about strategic groups. All right. I think and their characteristics. So look at these that produce same product or businesses. In other words, strategic groups, firms within an organization with similar strategic characteristics, firms within an industry with similar strategic characteristics. So they've got the following characteristics: market share, product range, and there are several of them. I don't think that I can explain. If you want pricing strategy, distribution channel. Then there was another one about Michael Porter, threat of new entrant, bargaining power. You can refer to that and you can discuss each one of them. And functions of corporate strategy for growth, you look at expansion, you want stability, renew, you can look at that. I think you can find out the answers. So looked at corporate level, business level. Corporate level is to do with the overall direction, resource allocation, portfolio management. And the business level is in terms of positioning, marketing strategy, operation effectiveness for specific markets. That one. Operational level, day-to-day activities, improvements, implementations in departments. Another one, environmental analysis, where you are assessing external and internal factors. Purpose for environmental analysis: you identify opportunities, understand market dynamics, access competitors, and inform strategic planning. Then environmental analysis processes: scanning, monitoring, forecasting, and assessing. So you can scan, you can monitor, you can forecast, and you can assess. Those are some of the areas that I wanted you to start. All right. Let's proceed from where we stopped last time. And today I want to see something different. What we want to look at today is something which is very, very different. And this is we are looking at now. We have gone away from the environment. Let's go to strategic capabilities. Let's look at the strategic capability. Can look at capabilities, and then after But strategic capabilities. I think I can explain about strategic capabilities today. All right. Right. So we are looking at strategic capabilities. That's what we are looking at now. Strategic capabilities. We want to define what are strategic capabilities, and we want to see what are the contributions of these strategic capabilities to organizations. All right, and again we'll look at these strategic capabilities in form of resources, competences, core competences, and dynamic capabilities, and the importance of continual improvement in cost efficient or efficiency. And we'll look at that, and we'll either go to SWOT analysis, and we may develop other strategic capabilities of organizations. We'll look at that. But firstly, let's look at these foundations of strategic capability. All right, the issue of capability. All right, issue of capability. It has to lead us to what is called strategic development. In other words, the issue of capability, it has to take us to resources for an organization. Therefore, any organization that would like to run, one of the most important area it has to look into, very critical, is to do with something about resources. Therefore, let's look at the resource-based view of strategy. Let's look at it. So, anything, for organizations to do very, very, very well, they have to look at, or they have to critically analyze their resource-based strategy. Resource-based. Organizations. Any organization. Do we have resources? Do we have resources? We are starting this organization. We want to run this organization. But do we have resources? That's why an idea of resource-based is coming in. Capability is coming in. It's not a question of, I would like to start this organization. That can be non-starter. But one of the most important things is you have to think of resource-based point of view. Therefore, this resource point-based point of view, no, it is looking at the issue on competitive advantage. That's why you have to think of these resources. So resource-based, aiming at competitive advantage. Because the moment you are in an organization, what you are aiming at to compete with your friends. So how do you compete? So compete comes in because of the availability of resources. People out there, they can differentiate your organization from other organizations based on what resources do you have, what capabilities are you bringing in to your organization, so that you are competing your friends out there. The issue of competition comes in. Without competition, I think we couldn't have been talking about capabilities here, resource-based. But we are looking at capabilities because we are thinking that out there, there are competitions. That's why the issue of capability resource based is coming in. Now, let's define what is strategic capability. Let's define this is the word strategic capability. By definition now. Strategic capability is just an adequacy and suitability of resources and competencies. Adequacy and suitability of resources and competencies. So we're looking at adequacy of suitability of resources. Resources and suitability of resources and competencies. That is what is called capability. Capability, you are looking at these resources and competencies for aiming at survival. You are looking at survival, prosper, and growth. So what you are looking at here is with these three aims: survival, growth, survival, growth, and prosper. That is what is called strategic capability. Let me just explain a little on that. You see, organizations are resource-based. Resource-based is they depend on the resources. Let's look at University of Lilongwe as one of the organizations. It's their resources. That's why we call it as resource-based. We have put a lot of resources here. And these resources are the ones that are making university to run. And these resources plus competencies, whatever the competencies that is here, the resources that are here, the resources plus competencies together, they will make the organization, the university, to survive. They will make the university to grow. They will make the university to prosper. So prospering, it depends on resources. And the fact that it depends on resources, that's what we are calling it as capabilities. Now, these resources, generally, we have got several types of resources. We can look at the resources in terms of, we have got what are called tangible resources, and we have got what are called intangible resources. So we are looking at the resources being grouped into two. So resources, these resources can either be tangible and can be intangible. Tangible and intangible. So look at tangible resources. What are these tangible resources? Now here we are looking at resources and competence. So now we are starting with these resources. Tangible. Tangible are those resources which you can touch. There are those physical ones, physical assets, tangible. These are physical assets. Physical assets, they are called tangible. And the fact that they are physical assets for an organization, such as plant, labor, finance, those are tangible. So examples are plants, labor, finance. We talk about the plants, we are looking at the plants machinery. Plants and machinery. Plants, these are not the plants that you know, but these are plants and machinery. labor, finance. Those are physical things that building. You're looking at buildings, they are tangible ones. Physical assets for an organization. Right? While intangible, we are looking at those non-physical assets. Intangible, we are non-physical assets. Example, non-physical assets. Knowledge, right? So we've got knowledge, we have got reputation, information. Remember, all what we are talking about here, we are looking at strategic capabilities. That one of the strategic capability, for a capability to be a capability, we are looking at resource, they have to be resource based. That's why we are looking at it as being a resource based. So this resource based is in two ways. We are looking at it being tangible and the tangible one. So tangible, we are looking at those that can be physically, your assets, physical assets. Intangible, the non-physical assets, and the examples are the ones that we have given you. Right? So the physical assets, I've already given you examples. Right? So I've got physical assets, machinery, buildings, all those are physical assets. All right? Look at the machinery, buildings that can be determined by the usefulness of such resources. You can determine by the usefulness of such resources. And again, we have got, apart from this, the intangible one. So I've got the tangible. In other words, there are four major ones, apart from the ones we are looking at, whether they are tangible and we can be intangible, right? Organization, most of these organizations, they have got four major type of resources that they depend on. So four major ones. So looking at it, four major type of resources, major ones for an organization to do that, major types of resources for an organization. And these are, one, you're looking at the physical resource, physical one, major one. Physical resource, human resource, capital. In other words, we have got what is called financial resource, financial. Finally, we have what is called intellectual capital resource. Intellectual capital resource. All right. When you look at physical resource, machinery, buildings, all right, for production capacity of an organization. Physical one. because they're looking at skills, knowledge that they have, right? Knowledge based, right? Depending on the type of people who you are working with, so that the human resource. We have got otherwise the intellectual capital. Intellectual capital has to do with again is intangible, something which you cannot touch, right? It depends on the patents. So you look at the patents. You look at brands, business systems, brands, business systems, etc. All right. You can go on and on. So you look at those ones. The brands, business systems, customer database, those are intellectual capital, right? For Google. All these resources. These strategic capabilities in terms of competitive advantage. Let's now look at this in terms of competitive advantage. I will just present this in a table form, a matrix, so that I can explain what are these capabilities in terms of competitive advantage in what is called a table form. In a table form. Resource. Sorry, this table. Creation capability. Capabilities for competitive advantage. All right. Competence. Capability resources. Unique resources. table shows strategic capabilities and competitive advantage. Right? So like threshold capabilities, we have what are called with threshold plus resources give us threshold resources. There are other resources which are tangible resources. Other resources are intangible resources for organization. So we've got other resources which you can touch. Other resources are not you cannot touch. But in terms of the competencies, we talk about threshold capability with the competencies. We are looking at threshold competencies here. You have got other competencies. Something that for your organization to do well based on the competencies that you have. For you to compete on a competitive advantage, there must be competencies here. Apart from resources, you need to have competencies. So in terms of capability for resources, capability and the resources of competitive advantage, you need to come up with what are called the unique resources. So there are other resources which are very unique. If you want to compete, why can't you bring in unique resources? So those resources can either be tangible or can be intangible. And again, sometimes they must be what are called core competencies. There are other competencies which are core. They are very, very important. So there must be core competencies here. So it depends on what you are bringing in your organization. There can be other competencies which can be core competencies, right? Competencies that are different from other what other organizations are doing. When you are looking at that, in other words, you can compete. You can at least get competitive advantage. Provided you need to come up with those resources, tangible ones, intangible, to come up with unique resources, different from other competencies. The way you can, the way the way you bring up, you bring out your products in that organization depends on the core competencies, depends on the threshold competencies. All these are very, very important. Now, when we look at strategic capability, right? We are looking at it in terms of survival and the prosper. In other words, we are looking at the resource and the competence for the organization. So whenever we are looking at strategic ability, just know we are looking at resources and competences for your organization. You have resources, you have competences. Because these competences and resources are very, very important. Because you need to have knowledge, you need to have resources. Human resource, you need to have those other resources, physical resource, have to have other resources. So you talk about the resources and again competences will together make up capabilities. One. So, but we talk about threshold resource. We look at threshold resource. So let me just define this. Let me just make the definitions of this. I have to define what is the threshold capabilities, all right? And I have to define what is the threshold competence here, threshold competence. I have to define what is a unique resource here, and I have to define what is the core competence. In other words, let me define these issues which are here, and then so that we should be able to understand what we are trying to cover. So if we look at, if we define strategic capability, I have already defined capabilities, ability to perform something based on survival and prosper. So when you perform your organization at a level requiring you to survive and to prosper, that becomes strategic capabilities. And this, the most important term for strategic capability is resources and the competencies for your organization, for survival and for prosper. Right? That's a strategic capability. Others, we are looking at the four one. So based on defining strategic capability, now let's define the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start with defining threshold resource here. Let's come up with threshold resource. If I define threshold resource, we are looking at those resources needed to meet the customer's maximum requirements, and therefore is continue to exist. So those resources that will be needed to meet customers' requirements or minimum requirements for customers that can allow him to exist, that is what is called threshold resources. So it's just to meet customers' minimum requirements. So resources for customers' minimum requirements. Customers' minimum requirements. Those are what are called threshold resources. So when we look at strategic capability, threshold resources, you are looking at those resources that are needed to meet customers' minimum requirements. For example, a very good example is you look at medical facilities. Those are examples of threshold resources to meet customers' minimum requirements and to continue someone to exist, like a healthy body, medical. Those are threshold resources. There are other resources which you need the health body. Those are threshold resources to meet customers' minimum requirements and continue to exist. Customers' requirements. So example of threshold resources is you are looking at training, equipments, food supplements, training, equipment, food supplements, medical facilities, healthy body, gymnastics. Those are what are called threshold resources. They are just a part which he will be looking at that. Another one, we have what is called threshold competencies. So talk about threshold competencies. We are looking at those activities and processes need to meet customers' minimum requirements now. Activities. These are activities. The first one, those are resources, but competence is an activity or a process. This is an activity or a process. This is an activity or a process that's needed to meet customers' minimum requirements and therefore continue for existing. That is what is called threshold competence. A very good example: training, physiotherapy, injury management, diet planning. Diet planning. That's what's called threshold competence. Those are just activities and process. Training is an activity, and the physiotherapy is an activity, and the diet planning is a process. All those activities, processes have to follow. So threshold competence, those are activities or process one has to follow. Unlike resources are not activities. Resources generally, threshold resources are those resources. They are different from, these are pure resources, but these are just activities. Because they're competent. If you are competent enough, it is to do with an activity in you or processes that you can be able to do. But in terms of unique resource here, something that is unique is quite that is competitive advantage now. Difficult for other competitors to imitate. That's what something is. There are unique resources. Those resources that of which difficult for other competitors to imitate or to copy. Those are unique. Difficult for other competitors to copy. Those are what are called unique resources. But the core competence, again, those are activities that whereas again difficult for competitors to imitate again. These are, so you look at competences is to do with the activities and process. Activities and process. Activities of process. While these ones are resource-based. Do with the resources. You see, sometimes, for example, we know about competencies. See, sometimes there are other activities or there are other processes which are very difficult for someone to imitate, to copy. Those are what I call the core competencies. You know, they are bringing in competitive advantage so that your organization is having those advantage or those advantages, right? So we call them competencies. They are just, we are looking at them as activities or process that you can be doing internally, but they are different from other organizations. So that when you look at, like the way we lecture, you can say, I mean, those are activities, the process, the way you do it, those become what I call competencies. But the resource base is you are looking at something which is very tangible, like those gadgets, like energy gadgets, recording gadgets, those are resources. But now they have to be very, if you want to gain competitive advantage, you need to find the unique ones. Like the fact that we have these cameras, you know, they are taking a part that is their unique resources, which you cannot find with them in other universities where you can go. You can just only find them just within our city. Maybe that's the issue, the importance of this. This was to be unique resources. So you have to make sure that if you want to gain a competitive advantage in your organization, you have to think of competencies and resources. Those are two things. That's why at first we learned something about Michael Porter. Michael Porter gaining competitive advantage. He had looked at several issues. And again, Michael Porter looked again at these issues of competitiveness through what is called competencies and the resources. Because whatever Michael Porter actually explained, whether bargaining power for the supplier, bargaining power for the buyer, competitive advantage, whether whichever, all those facts, they are to do with the resources and competencies. Competencies is something which you cannot touch, but competencies is to do with your skills, your knowledge, how you apply, so that at least you are winning, you are gaining competitive advantage. All those processes that you are following to achieve something, those are what I call competencies. You can't follow something if you are not having competence. But if you have got the competence, you follow, you can be able to follow to make each and every steps. Those are what I call competencies. So we are looking at competencies here. And then we are looking at resources. So I have defined what are these threshold capabilities, threshold resources, threshold capabilities, threshold resources. Alright, let me just explain. I've looked at threshold resources, threshold competencies, unique resources, core competencies. Let's look at what are these threshold capabilities. Let me just define this threshold capabilities so that maybe you have to understand what are these threshold capabilities. A threshold capability, alright? A capability, look at the threshold. Capability is to do with the activities. So threshold capability, we look at those capabilities that are essential for the organization to be able to compete at within a given market. So we look at that as threshold capability. Being those capabilities whereby they are very essential for an organization to be able to compete in a given market. So if you want to compete in a given market, that becomes what is called threshold capability. They are very, very essential for an organization to be able to compete in a given market. So without this, an organization is unlikely to be able to survive. If it can't make that, it's very unlikely for an organization to survive where within the market. So for you to survive, you need to have these threshold capabilities as those that are very, very essential for you to compete within a given market. Right? So we have looked at unique resources, unique core competencies. All right, core competencies being activities or processes whereby an organization is able to deploy such. So you look at that. Now, the issue here is we have looked at this is an organization. You are studying organization for the first time. So if you are looking at an organization and you're studying it for the first time, knowing that outside that there are organizations, why can't you think of resource based and competency? Competency is to do with the knowledge. Resource based is something is very tangible. That's what we are looking at here in terms of resource based and in terms of competencies. Another issue, another area that we have to look into consideration, apart from that, is what is called cost effective. But before I come to cost effective, maybe you have got questions, or you have questions, or you can have somewhere you haven't understood, or somewhere maybe you have not understood. Guys, questions or observation? Questions are our observation. Capability is to do with the knowledge. The resource is to do with service time. And capability to do with the activities and process for you to reach up to that. But talk about these resources, it's going to be either physical or non-physical resources. Do you have questions or any other observations? All right. So what we have gathered this morning, any organization, think of my resources. Do you have resources? Invest on when they are studying. If they have resources, if yes, okay. Competencies, right? Knowledge, people working, where people knowledgeable enough, ability processes where they follow. So you can resource based and competence based. So know what these resources can be tangible or can be intangible. Resources does not only mean something which you can touch. There are other resources which you cannot touch. Intangible resources. Alright? There are other resources which you can touch. Right? Building you can touch. You can touch. But there are others you cannot touch. That's why the issue of resources and competence is coming in. Competences is coming in because you have knowledge, skills, attitudes. That's why those knowledge, skills, attitudes, for you to undergo skills, knowledge, attitude, you have to know about the activity, process, how to go about that. All right? Assignment. Which you assignment, I think you will find assignment on the portal. I want to find assignment on the portal this time. Right? There is a link. Assignment, you get it from the portal about this. Now, let's look at it. Cost efficiency. Cost efficiency. Cost efficiency. The issue of competencies with cost efficiency. What is the link between strategic capabilities and cost efficiency? cost efficiency. So let's look at it. Cost efficiency. Cost. What do we need? Resources, competences, and cost efficiency. An organization where there is resources, competences, and what we need with cost efficiency. Do we have any connection between efficiency, resources, and cost efficiency? That's what we are looking at. Nobody here 15 minutes in class now. Hello? All right. Now, let's look at the issue of cost efficient. All right. An important when you look at these strategic capabilities in an organization. All right. The most important thing is we are learning these issues on strategic capabilities so that one will solve this problem of what is called cost efficiency. Cost efficiency. For example, we are looking at the resources. How do you make use of your resources? Right? So you look at this issue of cost efficiency is coming in. Right? The issue of cost efficiency, you are looking at it, you are using materials to its best. You are looking at you are using resources. Making sure that you are looking at these resources to its best so that you are achieving. Your achievement is something which is very, very paramount. That is what's called cost efficiency. You are trying to you are trying to improve. You are trying to improve cost efficiency. Improvement of this cost efficiency. That's why we are able to look at strategic capabilities. So capabilities comes in. For example, if you are knowledgeable enough of doing some other products in an organization, right? The fact that you are alone, you are knowledgeable, you went for a training somewhere to do a particular type of products. We are looking at that attainment. It is cost efficiency, because if an organization we are not involve you for particular training, then they will have spent a lot. But because you wait for further training, that's why there is what is called cost efficiency. Looking at nowadays, we're looking at the inventions of technology. Technology and this issue of cost efficiency, in the sense that long time, a lot of people will wait and will pay to have been born. But because of the coming of this technological advancement, it is playing another role on the other side. That's why we're looking at this issue of what is called cost efficiency. So, customers most times, sometimes they do benefit from this cost efficiency. In terms of cost efficiency, it's not only for the organization, but again, customers are sure cost efficiency. Are sure you are using your computers. You have produced a certain product. You have these products here. All right. You have used these products, very nice products. All right. And I am a customer. I'm a customer here. I am a customer. The fact that you have used your own knowledge, you may think of reducing the price here. You can say, let's just reduce the price, because it's not something which is we haven't taken much of our resources. We have this one. So as a customer who come and I will discover that the price of these products here is a little bit low, then it means that I, being a customer, I have advantage. I have gained advantage over the cost efficiency, because due to the reduction of price.
So price reduction there, it is at least has been achieved. So customers sometimes they can do benefit from the cost efficiency in the sense that in terms of pricing lowering, there is lower prices, and at the same time, more products features can be at least the prices can be reduced. There's that price reduction in terms of products. So in that way, that's what's called cost efficiency. So let me just maybe clarify this issue of cost efficiency in terms of the. Let me just look at this. Cost efficiency, it is known something like this. Cost efficiency goes something like this. We have what is called cost efficiency. Cost efficiency. Alright. To experience. The more you are experienced, instead of an organization to spend a lot, they will be gaining advantage over your experience. Alright, your experience. More will come with cost efficient, your experience. Assuming you this is your best, alright? Because your experience that lecture in so many courses, alright, the university is gaining advantage, cost efficiency. Instead of employing lecture for this. But because you experience in all, there's that cost efficiency. So an organization is benefiting from the cost efficiency because of your experience. So experience, you are experienced. So the fact that you can be experienced in several items, you can be experienced in one item, second item, you can experienced in third item, fourth item, the first person, the item, alright? Instead of this organization to hire people to do this, but because we are experienced in all this, it's going to take you on board. And that's why experience is the one way of sorting out cost efficiency. Cost efficiency, how costs can be overcome and be minimized. And again, another one, cost efficiency is to do with the economies of scale. So you are looking at the economies of scale. Cost efficiency to do with the economies of scale. Right? So talk about economies of scale sometimes. You see? Sometimes you find that an organization or a manufacturing organization sometimes, right? Because of its high capital costs, all right? It can produce high volume output. That's economies of scale. Economies of scale, now look at this, all right? This machine is a latest machine. It's the latest machine. And you bought it at a very expensive. Where they manufactured this machine, they manufactured this they know, or they knew that time that we are manufacturing this so that wherever it will go, it's going to make the production output to be high. So the fact that you're looking at this machine is a recent machine, the output will be high. That's economy. The organization will enjoy the economy of scale. It's as good as minibus, right? Assume you want to do business of minibus, right? You can think of buying 5 all minibuses. You can buy 5 only minibuses. 5 only minibuses. You may think you want to have advantage over that. And someone only buys 2 brand new minibuses from Japan. But this one has bought 5 old minibuses from Daniel. Alright? Out of these 2 people, we have got this one A and this one is B. Who will enjoy economies of scale? Who will enjoy economies of scale? Why?
Because it has 5 buses.
And these 5 buses,
they will have large capacity compared to 2 buses.
Alright. Assuming, alright, we are looking at now the issue of oil and the issue of brand new. You have 10 old cars. Someone has 2 new cars. Who will have an advantage? Who will enjoy? Who will make more profit? The one with 5 old minibuses or the one with 2 brand new minibuses?
On the long run, the one with 2 minibuses will make more money compared to the one who has 5 old minibuses.
Why?
In the sense that the 2 brand new minibuses will have less problems in terms of maintenance and then the other issues.
That's why you call that one is economies of what? Scale. The issue of economies of scale is coming in because you are not thinking of how many, but you are thinking of if I do this. You can have 5 minibuses, but if I do this old one, they are bringing problems. And if you cannot be careful, you will discover that you are going to be pumping in more money here. You pump in more money here. You know that, right? For you to maintain this. Right? In other words, you are not enjoying the economies of what? Scale. Where are you enjoying the economies of scale with this one? That's why here I'm saying, for cost efficiency, it's better you buy a machine, brand new one, that with a high output. You know what an output is? Yeah. It's better because you look at these ones are going to have high output. Alright? You are not going to maintain this one. They'll just be going on, right? But this one, each and every time you're maintaining. Each and every time you maintain. It's as good as having 200 cows. You have got 200 cows. and someone is only having 3 cows. But this one is feeding the 3 cows very nicely. This one is having 200 cows, but he's just leaving them eating around. The one who has got economies of scale is this one with the 2 cows. Because with the